Speaking of Trump, obviously we see a lot of various reasons for him to be in, and a lot of it has to do with constructing the Antichrist beast system, getting things going when it comes to the digital system that's going on out there. And so another person that Trump has picked for his administration is the guy by the name of David Sachs. And I've made mention to this guy before when I was talking about Trump. David Sachs is somebody who has a long history with Peter Thiel, has a history with Elon Musk, has a history with J.D. Vance, has a history with Trump, has a history with Silicon Valley, is another billionaire, because now it's fascinating. You look at his administration and like over half the people that he's bringing in are billionaires. I thought we were always complaining about the billionaires and stuff. Now all of a sudden we're 4 billionaires. Make that one make sense. But yeah, so Trump has picked David Sachs for the AI and crypto czar. So that's always fascinating. So since Trump taps free speech and Rumble board member, free speech, nothing else matters, right? That's why we have all the people in the church going, yeah, Elon Musk, he's for free speech, even though the dude is a Satanist. Kind of fascinating. Taps pro free speech and Rumble board member David Sachs to lead AI and crypto push. Says David Sachs takes on a key role to advance AI, blockchain, and free speech policies, marking a shift in the U.S. tech and cryptocurrency strategy. President-elect Donald Trump has declared the appointment of David Sachs, a leading figure in technology and former COO of PayPal, another PayPal guy. We've just got PayPal coming out the wazoo with this administration. Fascinating. It's almost like it was all planned back then. I believe it was. Just saying. Former COO of PayPal in the early days to the influential position of White House artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency czar. This decision follows Trump's choice of Paul Atkins. I don't believe he created the Atkins diet. Just saying. Fervent supporter of cryptocurrencies to helm the SEC, suggesting a significant pivot towards pro-tech and crypto stances in policymaking. It says, as cryptocurrencies have struggled under rigorous SEC rules, this sector anticipates a resurgence. These regulations have stymied American trading and deterred major corporations from engaging with cryptocurrencies. With a post-election surge in optimism, sectors such as AI, healthcare, automotive, and technology have shown interest in Bitcoin and blockchain technologies. Everything that Trump wants to escalate 10 times quicker with his seat at the White House. Moreover, Sachs will lead the Presidential Council of Advisors for Science and Technology, guiding the nation's strategy on AI and other advanced technologies. So when Trump was going out there during his campaign and saying that he wants the Bitcoin reserve, he wants to make us the crypto capital of the world, he wants to invest in stable coins, he wants to get all this stuff done, he's putting it all in place. And this, I believe, falls right in line with the globalist agenda, falls right in line with the beast system, falls right in line with the digital quantum AI system that's being built right now. And I believe this falls right in line with everything that needs to happen according to what we're told in Revelation when it comes to creating this one world system. He's falling right in line with it. He's just doing it in different language, and it makes people on the right and conservatives and Republicans and church people and stuff all warm and fuzzy on the inside. Yay, we've got the good guy who's anti-globalist because he's not doing CBDCs. No, he just wants digital stable coins. Those are much, much different. They're not. It's just the same thing repackaged in a different way. It's like one's being delivered by UPS, the other one's being delivered by FedEx. It's the same thing. It's the same thing when it comes to his border policies. He wants to do the border policies. Yet at the same time, we got the situation where in order to do that, he wants to bring in the digital ID system. He wants to bring in a biometric tracking and verification system, as well as we know the government's already got the E-Verify system all in play. He gets those things in play and boom, here we go. We got digital ID going. And so it's the same thing as we got this stuff rolling. And so he wants to do the AI and he wants to do the crypto, the Bitcoin, the stable coin, which is a digital currency. And so everything is falling in place with this. David Sachs, of course, has major connections to Peter Thiel. He wrote a book with Peter Thiel. He was a part of the PayPal stuff when it originally happened. He was all on board with this. He's also connected to Elon Musk, as well as to a whole bunch of other Silicon Valley bros out there. David Sachs was also the one that held fundraiser dinners for Trump's campaign to connect Silicon Valley to Trump in order to get all of the digital guys, all of the technology guys on board for Trump as well. So this guy has been an intermediary between Silicon Valley and Trump. And so this plays a major part. Not to mention, he's part of the Rumble board, which, again, two of the major players involved with Rumble are both Peter Thiel and JD Vance. They've invested in them, as well as Trump Media is financially tied to Rumble Media is financially tied to Trump and his media outlet as well. And so they work all in conjunction. And that's part of the whole right-left paradigm situation that we got going on. So all of this is falling right in line. For anybody who's been following my channel, this shouldn't surprise anybody. If you're one of those people that's brand new watching, welcome. Because, yeah, I talk about this too. But either way, Trump is going right in line with the digital beast system stuff. And so I just thought I'd go ahead and update you guys on what is going on with this. Don't be surprised when this stuff starts falling into place rather quickly, especially since he's working on all this stuff before he's even taken office. I think that's another key aspect that we should pay attention to, is the amount of work that's getting done, and he's not in office yet. And there's no friction, there's no resistance to it. It's just happening. And so that's another key to pay attention to as well. All this work being done beforehand, getting things set up for him to just come in and just start signing stuff and putting it through. Something else to keep in mind. All right. Another aspect going on with this has to do with tariffs, because he's been talking a lot about tariffs as well. So let's talk about tariffs, shall we? So he's been out there throwing words around when it comes to threatening countries with extreme tariffs, specifically the BRICS, as well as Canada, Mexico, and China. So first off, we got Kremlin says Trump threat to BRICS nations over US dollar will backfire. So if we read his little truth post here, says the idea that the BRICS countries are trying to move away from the dollar while we stand by and watch is over. We require a commitment from these countries that they will neither create a new BRICS currency nor back any other currency to replace the mighty US dollar, which, again, Trump has said is too strong. Keep that in mind. They will face 100% tariffs and should expect to say goodbye to selling into the wonderful U.S. economy. They can go find another sucker. There's no chance that the BRICS will replace the U.S. dollar in international trade, and any country that tries should wave goodbye to America. So coming from Reuters here, it says the Kremlin said on Monday that any U.S. attempt to compel countries to use the dollar would backfire after U.S. President-elect Donald Trump threatened to impose tariffs on BRICS countries if they created their own currency. Trump on Saturday demanded that BRICS member countries commit to not creating a new currency or support another currency that would replace the United States dollar, saying they should otherwise face, of course, the 100% tariffs. So a couple things with this. This plays right in line with the de-dollarization that was triggered back in 2008. 2008 was a big situation because it was planned. It began several things. It began it allowed the full takeover of the United States financial system by BlackRock. And I did a podcast episode breaking all of that down. This was a while ago, but you can find it. It's called BlackRock Takeover. I show how everything played in line with Larry Fink and BlackRock taking control of all of the financial aspects of the United States. That was triggered in 2008. This was also triggered for the devaluation of the dollar and the de-dollarization worldwide. And this was confirmed by George Soros when he came out and said that the United States dollar is going to become a drag on the global economy. China is going to be the leading engine, and the United States economy and dollar is going to become a drag. And this is a planned demolition of the dollar. That happened in 2008 as well. Another thing that happened in 2008 that people don't realize, Bitcoin. Bitcoin was a thing that came out in 2008 as well. And anybody who says Bitcoin is some, free money platform, decentralized platform for people to make sure that the government can't go after them and stuff is just a flat out lie. In my opinion, from the research that I've done, I'm not going to sit here and stamp 100% on it. So just keep that in mind. But I lean in the direction that Bitcoin was absolutely a DARPA-made project. And the fact that it was released in 2008 at the same time that all this happened as well, and now Trump is for creating reserve of Bitcoin and all this stuff, I think fits perfectly in line. So I would throw that onto the 2008 project as well. The next step to destroying the dollar was the BRICS nations. You'll notice all the BRICS nations that are a part of it are also all on board for creating digital currency as well. They're all going in that direction. And this is the next step in order to cause this. In order to bring in a new system, a new global financial system, you have to outright destroy the system that's in place right now. And this, in my opinion, this BRICS thing is stage 2. And these tariffs, whether they happen or not, could play a part in this as well, especially since what he's doing and how it's going to affect our economy, which we'll get into in just a second. Now we got this. It says Trump's 100% tariff threat. China says BRICS aims to cooperate rather than target third countries. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson responded to U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's threat to impose 100% tariffs on BRICS nations if dollar replaced, saying group aims for mutual development and prosperity. Okay. And then we can see here as well, it says Trump vows to raise sweeping new tariffs on China, Canada, Canada, as I like to say, and Mexico. It says U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has promised to raise tariffs on Chinese exports by 10% until the problem of drug trafficking is resolved, while also threatening to impose 25% tariffs on products from Mexico and Canada until the migration crisis is addressed. However, his tariffs are not only targeted at the U.S. neighbors in China, but also Europe, which will only hurt already struggling Germany. Then we've got how this affects us. Trump can't guarantee Americans won't pay more if tariffs enacted. I can pretty much tell you that it's going to happen. He says, I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee tomorrow. President-elect Donald Trump said he can't guarantee anything when asked whether his proposed tariffs would increase prices for American families in an interview with NBC's Meet the Press that aired on Sunday. If anybody knows how tariffs work, basically it's not the exporter countries who are sending stuff to the United States. It's the importer that has to pay for it. The companies here, and they're not going to take the hit. They're going to pass that cost down to us. So when he raises tariffs, we're the ones that pay for it. That's how that works. So, I mean, can't guarantee that it's not going to affect Americans. It's going to affect us. And I think this is another situation where this is going to have detriment on the United States economy. And I don't know. I don't know. Because again, we're seeing this, and he's also said that he wants to end the Fed, which he has no ability to really do that. That requires a lot more since it's private. People don't realize that our country is a corporation. That's something else that people don't realize. We're not a country, we're a corporation. Your social security number is actually your employee ID. That's something to keep in mind. And so the idea that all the financial system can run through a private thing, not connected to the government, and the government actually has to kind of answer to them type of deal, reveals really what's going on. And so if tariffs are enacted on that, then yes, this is going to have a massive effect on our economy as well. Another effect that it's going to have is China's restriction for extremely valuable materials. It says China's ban on key high-tech materials could have broad impact on industries and the economy. Coming from Associated Press, it says China has banned exports of key materials used to make a wide range of products, including smartphones, electric vehicles, radar systems, CT scanners, swiping back at Washington after it expanded export controls to include dozens of Chinese companies that make equipment used to produce advanced computer chips. Both sides say their controls are justified by national security concerns, and both accuse the other of weaponizing trade. Analysts say that latest restrictions could have a wide impact on manufacturing in many industries and supply chains. China has banned, in principle, exports to the United States of gallium, germanium, and antimony, critical materials needed to make advanced semiconductors, among many other types of equipment. Beijing also tightened controls on exports of graphite, which is used in EV and grid storage batteries. China is the largest source for most of these materials and also dominates refining of those materials, which are both used for consumer goods and for military purposes. You can see here, the USGS critical mineral study bans on gallium and germanium exports could cost the U.S. billions. Billions. It says U.S. Geological Survey researchers have developed a new model to assess how disruptions of critical mineral supplies may affect the U.S. economy. Using the model, the researchers estimate that there could be a $3.4 billion decrease in the United States GDP if China implements a total ban on exports of gallium and germanium, minerals used in some of the semiconductors and other high-tech manufacturing. Fascinating. Again, exactly as George Soros said, United States economy and the dollar is going to start to become a drag, and China is going to be the engine that leads them. This is another step of China leading it. By doing this, they can actually start dropping things again. And so this is something that plays right in line with what Soros said back in 2011. Now, is all of this going to happen and unfold exactly like that? I wouldn't bet on it because things always change. Things get messy. That stuff happens. But I would still say that we are going in that direction of making this stuff happen. So what we got going on with the banning of this, as well as the tariffs, the threats of tariffs, everything like this could have a major effect on not only goods, but also the economy, the inflation situation, and who knows what else. So this is definitely something that's going on. Now, the materials like gallium, germanium, antimony, and graphite are key components in not only what they listed, but when I looked it up, they're also key components in semiconductors, ammunition, nuclear devices, as well as nuclear weapons, and batteries, high-tech electronics, solar panels, and some other stuff. Pretty interesting stuff on there. Semiconductors, ammunition, nuclear devices. That could definitely play a part on this. Also worth noting that China produces 98% of the world's supply of germanium. 98%. We produce some here, but not even close to what we use. While the U.S. relies heavily on China for that, they also rely on imports of gallium and antimony as well. So this definitely plays a part with things that we need to move the needle when it comes to technology, which of course that's what Trump wants to do, as well as ammunition is something else that could be hitting preppers, hunters, people like that. So that's definitely playing a part. Nuclear devices, I wouldn't worry so much on the nuclear weapons. I would say that's more for nuclear power plants. That could be playing a part in that, and other batteries and electronics and everything like that. So with this, couple notes that I've got down, the cost is going to be passed to us. If this happens, like they're saying, again, Trump's not even in office yet. So this is just like a what if scenario worth keeping in mind. If this happens, the cost is going to be brought to us, the consumer. That's just how that's going to happen. The companies aren't going to take a hit because they're nice people. That's not how it works. It's going to be passed to us. This hurts the domestic industry competition as well. People don't realize if the tariffs are against the companies and they're passing it to us, as well as the import of materials for these companies, that's going to reduce the amount of work and that the companies can do. It's going to start fizzling out smaller companies and small businesses, and everything is going to then all of a sudden start getting folded into the large companies as well. This, of course, goes along with globalism. They want everything into the companies, and fascism, because then the companies and the government can work together, which, of course, is the fascist country. So this will hurt domestic industry as well. It will not help it like a lot of people think. This does not magically generate domestic production or jobs. That's another thing that people realize. Well, if we're not importing stuff from other countries, that means that we're going to have to start making stuff ourselves. We don't have the materials, we don't have the workforce, and we don't have the financial ability in order to do that here. We do not have the materials needed to all of a sudden start becoming a producing country. We are a consuming country. We are a service-based country. We are not a production-based company. Actually, the United States only has an 11% GDP when it comes to manufacturing in our own country. 11%. We consume, and we are service-based. You can't just magically create a producing country overnight. You can't just go, hey, I have an idea. Let's not import stuff. Let's just manufacture here and go, and it's happening. We don't live in that world. That's not going to happen. Especially when we have the economy going in the way that it's going. And then the other thing that people don't realize, inflation does not just go down. It doesn't just go away. When things inflate, which that's another misconception people don't realize, it's not the prices of things going up. It's the value of the dollar going down. That doesn't just get fixed. Your groceries have gone up, like mine have. They don't go back down. They just don't go back down. Maybe some cents here and there, but you're not going to have, well, I was paying $2 for a loaf of bread 5 years ago. So now that Trump's coming in, he's going to do all this stuff. That means I'm going to pay $2 for a loaf of bread again. That's not how that works. It's going to stay the same pretty much. And so that's the situation when it comes to that. I think this is interesting. I'm not saying that I have any answers. I'm not saying that it's going to go this way or the other way. I'm just giving you some information of how things are lining up, who's saying what, and the expectations that we could have when it comes to this stuff. I'm not saying that, we're doomed, give it a couple months and we're all doomed and stuff. I'm not saying that. So yeah, I wouldn't take it in that type of way. I think this is definitely something to pay attention to. Again, things get messy, things change rather quickly. So let's just keep an eye on what's going on. But this is some interesting stuff.